Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at the top reasons why Alpaca Finance should be on your radar as a possible investment. Alpaca Finance has a lot going for themselves and is one of the largest projects on Binance Smart Chain, with currently over $850 million locked in the protocol, just behind PancakeSwap and Venus. Alpaca's main driver is the ability to yield farm with leverage. In this video that I created earlier, you can see how that works, but today I want to discuss if the Alpaca token itself is an interesting investment. Let's dive into it. Reason number 1, fair launch project. Unlike most crypto projects, Alpaca has had no pre-sale, no investors or VCs, and no pre-mine prior to the token launching. In total, there will be 188 million tokens created ever, of which a lot will get burned. More on this later. Only 8.7% of the tokens are reserved for the development fund, used for development and increasing the team, and it has a 2-year vesting period. Another 4.3%, or 8 million tokens, are reserved for the war chest, used for marketing, listings, audits, again more on these later, and so on. The other 163.7 million tokens will be distributed to users on the Alpaca platform. Many projects have the issue of having large percentages of their tokens being part of VCs or investors with just one goal in mind, selling it later on for a higher price. Often, this means that after the initial vesting period, the tokens will be dumped on the market. That's not the case here. Other than the 2-year vesting period in the development fund, there isn't a flooding of tokens to be expected. Reason number 2, long-term deflationary. Alpaca Finance has a hard cap on the tokens that will be created, the 188 million mentioned before, and when looking at the block reward schedule, this has already decreased from 22.5 per block to only 1.65 per block now. While that's already quite a low number, Alpaca also has a couple of burning mechanisms in place that will eventually make the token deflationary. Alpaca will burn tokens via liquidation fees. 4% out of 5% of all liquidation fees are used for buyback and burn of Alpaca tokens for the case of third-party liquidation bots. In the case where liquidation is initiated by Alpaca's internal bot, all 5% of liquidation bounty goes to buyback and burn. Number 2, lending performance fees. 10% out of 19% of the borrowing interest fees is used for buyback and burn of Alpaca tokens. Number 3, Alpis NFT sales. 20% of the sales proceed will be used for buyback and burn. Number 4, Alpis NFT royalties. 2.5% out of 5% of secondary Alpis sales go towards buyback and burn. Number 5, AUSD, Alpaca stablecoin, stability fees. 50% of the stability fee go towards buyback and burn. Number 6, AUSD auto farming performance fees. 5% out of 9% goes towards buyback and burn. Number 7, the automated vault management fees. 50% of the management fee goes towards buyback and burn. And number 8, the automated vault withdrawal fees. 50% of the withdrawal fee go towards buyback and burn. And that's what they have now. The team is always looking for ways to make the Alpaca token more desirable, both by granting holders incentives and new burning mechanisms. But it already has had a tremendous effect on the circulating supply. Over 18 million coins have already been burned, and that's more than 10% of the total circulating supply ever. And if Alpaca continues growing and gathering new users on the platform, this will only increase. Essentially creating a double wombo. More users means more Alpaca holders, which drives demand, and at the same time the users will generate more fees that will be burned. Smart stuff. Reason number 3, incentives for holding Alpaca. Alpaca holders will also be incentivized. When depositing their Alpaca in the governance vaults, they will receive emission rewards. 10% of the 19% performance fees for yield farming positions on the single asset cake vault is distributed as protocol APR to Alpaca governance vault depositors. 5% of 9% of farming performance fee, which is from yield farming rewards, is used for Alpaca buyback and distributed as performance fee sharing the government vault stakers. 8% of 15% of AV farming performance fee, which is from yield farming rewards and automated vault, is used for Alpaca buyback. 8% of 50% of AV Alpaca rewards performance fee, which is from the Alpaca rewards on yield farming positions in automated vaults, is used for Alpaca buyback and distributed as performance fee sharing to governance vault stakers. On top of that, Alpaca has a couple of projects that will reward a percentage of their tokens to people staking their tokens in the governance vaults. There are currently 4 projects live, but these change every so often. This may all sound a bit technical, but what it comes down to is that revenue is shared with Alpaca holders, and the longer you keep your tokens in the governance vault, the higher the APRs will be. You will essentially increase your stack and have a couple of different tokens from the grazing range while holding on. Combine that with the burn mechanism and again you get a double wombo. However, it obviously depends on the growth of the project and subsequently the growth of the token price. So far, these have been the financial reasons to invest in Alpaca, but there are other important factors to consider too. But first, a little plug for the channel. Hey guys, if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and as always, I'd really appreciate a like so other people can more easily find the content. Back to it. Reason number 4. Security. The DeFi space unfortunately is riddled with rug pulls, hacks and scams. We're talking about money, and bad actors will always try to find a way to get other people's funds. Alpaca Finance knows the importance of security, and that's an understatement. They have had an industry-leading 20 security audits so far from top firms in the space, and in June 2021 they even received a high security rating on Binance by DeFi Safety. Furthermore, there are multiple ways to insure your funds with Nexus and Insurace, something only available after completing their rigorous security tests, and they even have their own insurance fund. And if you have ever heard of flash loans, one of the leading ways protocols lose their funds, it isn't available at Alpaca Finance. Reason number 5. Continuous development. The DeFi space and crypto in general moves at lightning fast speeds. If you stop improving and developing, a new contender will take over. That's why it's so good to see that the team keeps coming up with novel and interesting ways for their users to enjoy DeFi. Just recently they released automated vaults. There's a lot going on there, so I suggest watching my other video on the product. They also recently released their own stablecoin and expanded to the Phantom network. Not too long ago they started with their own NFT collection, with some interesting developments coming for those later this year, a bit more on those later on. And one of the ways to check if a project is being worked on is the amount of code that's being added or changed to the project. Well, last month, in March, Alpaca had a whopping 439 codes changed, showing that it's very active in the development side. Reason number 6. Expanding to the GameFi world. If you've been following the channel, you probably know that I'm a big fan and believer in the GameFi space, ushering gaming into an era where we can actually earn some money while playing games. Alpaca has been working behind the scenes on a game that consists of the Alpaca NFTs, in probably a similar way as Axie Infinity and DeFi Kingdoms. And they intend to make this a big part of Alpaca, hiring in-house developers to ensure they are able to make the best product available. While gaming is a different expertise, one of the most important aspects of a play-to-earn game are the tokenomics and longevity of the economical aspects of the game. We've seen too many crypto games simply bleed out due to poor mechanics in those areas. The Alpaca team so far has shown that they always look out for the investors, so it's something that I'm really looking forward to. Other interesting plans on the roadmap include increasing the before mentioned expansion to the Phantom network, expanding the institutional investor possibilities and market, and they are always looking for new grazing and farming pools. Reason number 7. Current price and price action. Obligatory, I'm not a financial advisor disclaimer, but let's take a look at the current price and price action of the Alpaca token. After an insane launch with an all-time high of $8.78, Alpaca now sits at around only 60 cents. Just like most other crypto, and especially DeFi tokens, the market has been brutal for holders. After the initial DeFi hype, most of these projects sit at a hefty discount. I reckon only the most innovative projects with good tokenomics will survive, and I hope that the earlier part of the video has given you the same confidence in the Alpaca team's abilities as I have now. If so, a 93% discount from all-time high seems like a decent time to get in. If we look at the last months, we can see that Alpaca has broken out of a long-term downtrend and is now following an uptrend with a couple of spikes every now and then to the upside. Compared to their total value locked, there seems to be enough growth potential, especially considering that the token is starting to become deflationary. Add in the future developments with the automated vaults, expanding to the Phantom and the GameFi space, and there could be a lot of growth potential here. The total market cap still sits well below $100 million, making it not too difficult to increase multiples in case the markets in general start to rise again. Conclusion: the Alpaca team has a lot of things going for them, being one of the largest DeFi protocols on Binance Smart Chain, showing continuous growth. The tokenomics are in favor of holders who can stake for rewards, while also seeing the token become deflationary. The team is developing a lot of new products while also improving the current ones. Combine that with a low total market cap and the price sitting at a high discount, this could be one of the best DeFi plays for the coming months or even years. As always though, be sure to do your own research on top of this video. I'll be sure to keep updating you on their next moves and am especially looking forward to their NFTs and GameFi expansions. That's it for now. If you found the video useful, be sure to subscribe for more content on Alpaca in the near future, and I'd really appreciate a like so other people can more easily find the content. If you have a specific subject that you would like to see a video on, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.